work here. It's weird. Technology. I tested everything works, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work. What can you do? We just keep moving forward. That's my motto this year, is just keep moving forward. Can you see me okay? Okay, great. All right, well, we'll get started here. I'll tell you what I have as my tools, and then we'll continue. So I love using, as you know, I love using oil pastels, so I have that. Every time I work with Van Gogh, I always love to pull out the oil pastels just because of his brushwork. I don't have enough patience to wait and wait for paint to dry. I don't know if anybody else has that issue, but I do. So I like to just use oil pastel, and I also like using watercolors, which I have right here. And these watercolors I just leave on my desk. I'll zoom out so you can see how messy my desk is. Usually I just have the desk a mess, and all of my supplies and tools are, let me see, at hands, arms, reach. So anytime I need something, they're all here. Sketchbooks, paper, color pencils, all the brushes. It's a mess, but it's the way I like to work and how my brain works. So it just looks like that. But yeah, so first of all, before we get going too, I wanted to say thank you to those of you that has joined me today. I really, really appreciate you being here. Yeah, Virginia, the YouTube is not working for some reason. I'm gonna have to close it up over there. I'm afraid if I mess around with it some more, it is not gonna work for us. So I think I'm gonna have to just delete it. And I don't know how to do it. I'll upload it later. Yeah. I'll have to let everybody know. Give me 1 second, guys, while I tell everybody technical issues. Will upload later. Okay. We'll close that up. I wanted to say thank you to, just quickly say thank you to the people here that have donated to the coffee club, which we now have. Cheryl, Gwen, Jessica, Ann, Bianca, Judy, Emily, Miss Katz, Leslie, Sandra, Gail, Janice, Robin, Mary Lee, Fran, Asma, Margaret, Ingrid, Jean, Marcy, Pam, and Ann. Did I say Ann twice? Ann, thank you so much. There's 2 different Anns. And then all of you that have supported me anonymously, thank you so much. And Coffee Club, those of you that don't know, the Coffee Club is going to work a little bit like this. I will be filming a class. The invite is almost ready to go out. And those that have donated, you get to join me live for free. And we just get to paint together. And then later on, after the class is over, I will put that for sale. So if anybody wants to buy the class, they can. But those of you that are in the Coffee Club, you can join me and we can just paint together and have a good time. But I'll give you all of the information ahead of time. So if you need to get any supplies and get that ready, that will be all set for you. All right, so I think that is it for, you know how when people say housekeeping? What else is another word for that? I think that's it for all the announcements. I'm trying to come up with other words than housekeeping, but I don't know. Anyway, so let's see here. We'll get started with Van Gogh, one of my favorites. Before we get going on Van Gogh, actually, I wanted to share my screen, and I put this as a resource for you. Sharing it now. Hopefully you can see it. This is such a wonderful, wonderful resource. It's linked to the PDF, vangoghmuseum.nl. It is so great. I mean, I could get lost in this place for like a really long time. It talks about it goes through all of his paintings, landscapes, flowers. Then you get to view all the paintings, the different drawings. I mean, look at that. Just absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. There's letters that he wrote to his brother. And then, so if you have some time and you want to find out more, I linked it on the PDF, but definitely go through here. One of the things that I love to look at is just his drawings, the collection of his works. These are all of the studies that he did with the body. And then the one that I wanted to show you was the early drawings, actually. He did a lot of practice. As you can see, I mean, faces, hands, the trees. I mean, I could go on and on. I feel like he just carried paper with him everywhere he went, and he just would sketch as much as he can. Maybe he would go to a coffee shop or something, but or whatever they had back then as a coffee shop. And the thing that really stood out to me is he would do these drawings and studies over and over again. It's not just a one-time thing. He will focus on a particular design or a particular tree, and then he'll just paint that scene over and over. This one was interesting because in this painting, can you see that? He actually put two of his other paintings. So that's the one that we'll be working on today. And then here's another cypress tree painting. Isn't that interesting? In the painting, he puts his painting. I mean, it's just so amazing. And then this, I thought, just spoke to me because it is a true mixed media piece. I know some people are very much into making sure they just use one media, but for him it's like he uses so many. There's pencil marks, there's watercolors, there's inks. This other one here, I'm going to close that one up. This other one here, Stairs in the Garden of the Asylum. This one is on paper, and look at those marks. And some of those are just done with brushes, watercolor, whatever he has on hand. So I'm sharing all this just to encourage you to just play with the supplies that you have, and really let's dive deep into Van Gogh a little bit here. Let's see. So I'm just, like I said, so excited that we get to add another Painting with Joy for the Painting with Joy next week on Wednesday night. If you join us, we'll still study Van Gogh, but different. Okay, so it'll be a different type of what do you call this? Different type of references. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that. All right. So on the first page, well, I got this book, and look how thick this is. Whoa. I mean, wow. It is all of his paintings. If you even just look at it, it's actually not that expensive. I think it was $17 or something like that. But it starts from, and it has that smell, like that new book smell, you know? When you open a new book and you're just like, I'm sniffing the book right now. I love books so much. It smells so good. Anyway, it goes through all of the different periods that he had, all the way to, you see the difference in the color from the beginning, from when he started, and then like closer to where his style changed. So I'm just encouraging you, don't worry about if your style changes, your handwriting changes. It's okay. When you were in kindergarten, I don't know, when I was in kindergarten, my handwriting was very, very different than what it is today. So just like we do our own handwriting, you just have to be patient with yourself. Some people look at my stuff and they're like, how do you do that? You make it so easy. It's just practice. Anybody and everybody can do it. You just have to practice. So that's what we'll do. We'll do some practicing. This is the sheet, and the reason why I picked this one as a warm-up is I just want us to notice the different ways that he made marks here. All right? So he has his pencil going one way, and then he did the little hash marks going up and down. And then this just really spoke to me, this section right here. The way that he's trying to do the movements of the shrubbery. So wonderful. And then he puts a bunch of little circles in there. This is from the Public Garden. I put the source there. So if you get a chance, like I said, definitely check it out. All right, well, let's get started. I'm going to use my sketchbook first. Oh, this book is so heavy, but worth it. So I'll link to that in one of our newsletters. I don't want to overwhelm you with all of the stuff. But if you have any questions, please, please, please let me know. And I just want to say thank you again for taking time out of your afternoon to hang out with me. I'm just so excited to be able to come and do this with you at 1 a.m. I mean, not 1 a.m., 1 p.m. 1 a.m. is my mom. She is in the Philippines. So when I was talking to her today, I said, Mom, do not attend. It will be 1 a.m. where you are. Anyway, I'm going to actually use a charcoal. Or you could use a color pencil, whatever you have. And I'm not going to do too much, but I am going to focus on this little fun shrubbery, all right? So I want you to try it too. I'm not going to draw a square. You know how much I love squares. And I'm just going to, like a little bug. Somebody was asking me what kind of drawing is this that I use. Oh no, Candy says that the book is more than 17. You got a deal if you buy it a while ago. Oh, you know what? You could also look at used. Sometimes on Amazon, they'll say like how much they'll sell it for or something, and then you could get it used. I usually do that, or just get it from the library. But yeah, so this is, somebody asked me what kind of drawing this is, and I couldn't explain it except to say it's a little bug type of drawing where you have to pretend like your finger is like a little bug that just flies all over the place. So now I'm going up to right here, and my little bug hand is just making marks. And then sometimes I am impatient, so I just move somewhere else. So we're just doing this to warm up. Just kind of see, if you hold your pencil a little bit further than you normally would, that also helps with being loose. So hopefully that is working for you. Just being inspired by Van Gogh. There's also a book, it's a young adult book called Van Gogh and Theo, I think. It's about his early life, and it talks about his brother and their relationship. Ooh, this is interesting here, how he did these lines. Let me show you. It goes up and down, up and down. I have never tried something like that, so I'm going to try that. It's a different kind of mark making. Ooh, that might be fun for like flowers or something. Let's see. And then try to make some really dark marks, then make some really light marks. I'm not really making it exactly like Van Gogh. I'm just being inspired by the way he is making his marks. The cool thing about this is as I'm going, I'm like, oh, that's a new way of making lines. I like it. Okay, so Candy says that was used, the thrift books one. All right, well, keep an eye out for it because sometimes they do go on sale. So maybe just add it to your wish list. Sometimes that's what I do. I have a lot of stuff for save for later or buy for later. Sometimes I never buy them, but you know, it's fun to dream. But yes, try to get this from your local library if they have it. I'm just adding some more of the lines that he has going on. It's interesting how he puts like the little circles. I don't know if those are maybe those are pebbles that he's putting on there. So I'm just adding that. And if you want to, I'm gonna try to do this really dark tree up here. Now I'm using charcoal, which means this is gonna be really messy later if I accidentally rub it. So be forewarned if you use something like this. But I like to, sometimes as a fun little exercise, I just close my eyes and then I pick something from my different cups that I have up here. And then whatever I pick is what I have to use. So that's actually what happened. I was trying to get a color pencil and then a charcoal came up. So I'm like, okay, I guess I have to try to use charcoal today. All right, so that is part of it. And let's see. So I can just imagine Van Gogh like being at a garden, this is a public garden, and just setting up shop with a large piece of paper and just going for it. I have not been at a park with my art supplies without my children. So their patience level it's just not, you know, they're older now, so it's easier, but back then it's like you can't really do a lot of art when you have kids wanting to run around. But I do still bring my art supplies when they're in the playground. I go ahead and try to get some sketching in. All right, so this is our little warm-up. I don't want to take too long here because I want to move on to the other ones. But before we move on, maybe later I'll add more. I'd love to see what you have. So let's see. I will unpin myself. And let's see. Do you mind holding yours up? I love it when everybody holds theirs up because then we get to see. Ooh. Oh, Janice, you added some shading. I love it. Arlene. Nice. Christine. Dominique. Lovely pumpkins. Those pumpkins are a little bit in your way. Candy, I see that. Anne, ooh, Anne, what did you use there, Anne? It looks blue. That's cool. And Claude.
It's just a color pencil.
Oh, okay, nice.
I take it.
Love it.
And it's blue. I love blue.
Yeah, me too. Blue's my favorite. Pam, beautiful. Asma, great. Dominique, whoa, Dominique, you got far. Look at that. Awesome. Laura, those lines. Catherine, yours is a little bit blurry. It's not showing. Oh, there we go. I see it. I see those energetic lines you have going on. Those looks like pastel. Jackie, I love that. Is that pencil, Jackie? Oh, okay, great. Yeah, you got a lot of definition. Susan, awesome. Thank you all for sharing. Let me just see here. Fran, love it, Fran. Look at your sketchbook. Hi, Susan. This is so great. I love seeing everybody that we normally wouldn't see, and you guys are actually awake, and you don't have to stay up until 1 a.m. to come hang out. I love it. All right, so we'll go back. So that's mine. And now we'll go to this one. So pretty. I'm going to turn to the next page. And like I said, this is just a sketchbook, so it doesn't matter how it turns out because the goal is to just have a good time. All right. Just want to make sure. Okay, so my normal way of doing things is I like to start off with watercolor, and I'll plot everything down with watercolor, and then I'll add the details. That's how I normally like to do it. Or sometimes I like to, like a little bug, just make little marks. So I think I'll do that. I'm going to start with I like to do my mark making with a watercolor pencil. If I can find one. Yep. Is this a watercolor pencil? Nope. Let me see. I want one where you can see it. Okay, so this is a watercolor pencil and it's blue. I'm gonna activate it by dipping it into the water. And we're just gonna practice some of these things. Where does my eye start off? I don't know, I'm drawn to this tree. So I'm just going to very loosely put this cypress tree. Cypress tree, if you look at the video that on the PDF, the Met in New York has an actual exhibition, and they did, I don't know if it's still up. It might be gone already. But they did a exhibition of just the trees, but the video explains it really well. So there are some really dark parts here, so I'm just making sure to add that. And our goal is not to really copy Van Gogh, but like be inspired by how he does his beautiful loose artwork. The brushwork is just amazing. I'm doing the mountains in the back now. And I might not be able to do everything, and that's okay. I am going to add these fun trees. Listening to the Van Gogh book, I can never get too far. Sometimes when I'm cleaning, I'm listening to that Van Gogh and Theo book, but I can never get too far because I get really sad by how he lived his life, with like the family and so on. So then I have to like stop a little bit, come back to it. But it's interesting to know and see how just different people live from different times. It's like, wow. And then how like people just didn't appreciate his artwork or what he did. I mean, these are some of the mountains. I'm not gonna really put everything on there, but okay, so that's my map. And now I'm going to take my round number 8. And I'm just going to use my watercolors. And I do not, just want to make sure you can see it all. There we go. I do not really have a palette or mix in the palette. I just usually go for it. So I'm going to take some green. And it might not even be the right green, but I'm just going to put it down anyway. If you have any questions, like I said, please let me know. My chair is really loud. There's some really dark parts there, so I'm going to make sure to add it. Okay, bright yellow, a little bit of yellow ochre, so I'm just dipping in a bunch of yellows to see what kind of yellow that comes up with, and just putting that down now. I am like trying very hard not to think about coffee. I love drinking coffee in the afternoon. And my body is not letting me handle the caffeine at night. So then I have not slept until like past 1 or 2 for the past, I don't even know how long. Feels like years. So I'm trying to get better, but I am a work in progress. Okay, Dominique says it's still morning in Oregon. Dominique, I hope you're drinking coffee. I brought myself some seltzer here because I want to badly drink coffee, but I'm not going to do it. Okay. I need sleep. My kids, they're so funny. They're like, why do we have to go to bed so early? We don't need sleep that much. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you are not going to, when you get older, you are going to realize how much sleep means. I'm going to zoom away a little bit. There we go. Hope you're able to see that okay. Sometimes, like I said, technology is weird. I'm just adding some light green and then some blue. I think I'm going to have to oil my chair. I can hear it go creaking. Hopefully it's not too loud for you. And handy dandy tissue. Just, dab if you put too much in. I love the sky. I mean, look at that. It's just so energetic, the clouds. So I'm gonna add the sky now. This is probably better. I could probably use a bigger brush for the sky, but I'm just gonna stick with this number 8. So what I'm doing now is I'm just plotting down the sky. I'll add the details in a little bit with oil pastel or color pencil. So that is my first pass at everything. I kind of plotted whatever I want to make sure I have. I think I have some greens here that I want to add. Is it looking washed out to you a little bit? I just want to make sure. Yeah? Okay. Sometimes my camera is just bizarre. Okay, I'm going to try to see if I could fix that. You keep going. I'm going to try to fix it on my side here. All right. Keep adding your stuff. I think it's because of this one light I have on. I'm going to try to turn that off. Bear with me. Is that any better? I hope. Okay, let's see. A little bit better? I think it's just my camera is really weird. And then the greens, not really. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to find the camera setting. Ah, there it is. Let's see. Configure my camera. Okay. I don't know. I just I think it's when it comes to when it gets to zoom, it's too many cameras in once that it doesn't come out really well. But that's okay. We'll keep moving forward. It looks like neon green. That's the only thing. It's not really neon, but what can we do? Could just be my camera. All right. Next, I'm going to use my oil pastel. I love using these oil pastels because for the first part, because they're very hard and they're not super soft. These gallery oil ones are softer for great mixing on the lines, but this one, the oil pastel that's Pentel is, I don't know, it's fine with me that it's hard. Also, somebody was mentioning that it smelled like gas to them. I don't know, mine doesn't smell. My oil pastels do not smell. But I think maybe it's because I have them open on my desk and the smells dissipate after a while. Has anybody ever come across that smelling? I don't know. But they told me maybe I'm just used to it, and they're probably right. But I really don't smell it. Anyway, I am going to start with the oil pastel. Taking the darkest one, and I'm just smushing it all along. Just do like really light like we did before, and then smush really dark. Smush, smush, smush. I don't really know any other words for it to describe what's happening here aside from smushing it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm smushing it around. Smush, smush, smush. Just the really dark parts I'm adding and pressing really hard. And then I'm going to take a different color. So this is fun to use, like I said, oil pastel in. This is a different green. And if you're not sure what to practice with your oil pastel, look at some Van Gogh pieces. His is like, for some reason, the oil pastel, if you use it like he does, like in a round motion, like we were practicing with those broken lines, it almost looks like a Van Gogh brushwork, but only he's using oils and you're using oil pastel. When I used to teach elementary school, I would decorate my classroom with all these drawings and pictures, and I would use soft pastel for the decorations. And then spray it with hairnet. Do you know what that is? Like the hairnet aerosol? Yeah. Okay, so I would spray it with that and it would stay. I was just like, and now that I think about it, it's probably not great to be doing that. It's really not great to be doing that. But I did not know any better. Okay, now I'm doing the little mountains in the back. And just really keep your marks like really broken to give that illusion of an oil pastel over an oil paint. Just that illusion. And then I'm doing the shrubbery. Just making marks. This is just a great mark making practice anyway. You know, just like how did he do these lines? He went one way, then he went another. The movement, it makes it looks like some parts are windy, right? When he did his artwork, like some of the hay is just dancing. Adding this little tree over here, which is so interesting to me that he colored this tree a light blue. So things do not necessarily have to be the color that they are. You can switch them. You can also use color pencil. They'll do the same kind of, just keep it light, same kind of mark making. I'll use the color pencil now. Oops, broke it. Sometimes that just happens. Pick a different one. I have found that the Prisma color color pencils, they just, I try other ones, but I keep coming back to these because I don't know, they just really work well, and I could be I'm not very nice to my color pencils, and these seem to work well with my abuse. I'm not the kindness with my art supplies sometimes. Going back with watercolor on some parts that I did not get to add. We should probably add some marks here with the hay, I think. I keep getting drawn to these little green marks that he has happening. But anyway, when my husband and I on our 20th anniversary, 15 or 20, I can't remember which one. We went to we had my in-laws watch our kids, and we went to the Met and saw some amazing artwork by the masters, and it's like you can't even leave the room because you just want to stay there for the longest time looking at all the brushwork for the Monets, or whatever they have. Let's see, just adding more, but you don't have to do like every part. I'm just getting the spirit of it, not necessarily all of it. I'm pretty happy about how that's looking. Now I'm going to add some of these clouds. It's almost like, I don't know, when you're painting, what do you leave as your last part? Like, to me, when I'm doing the flowers, I like to leave the details as the last part, or like the background really is what I leave last. Is that what you do? Do you do the background last? Type it in the chat so I know which speaks to you. Like, which part do you look forward to when you're painting? I love the background. These pastels are not showing up. But also, you don't have to type it in the chat if you don't want to. Because I know your hands are probably all painted up. Mine's really dirty. All right, I am adding some of these white, but it's not showing up. So I think I'm going to add the blue first. I'm switching to the Gallery oil pastels just to add some, because they're just softer. So they're moving a little bit better for me. And like I said, I'm just kind of making it up on my side as I go. Not really doing it exactly like Van Gogh here. Just make your clouds dance. Dancing clouds. And then I'm putting a gray. The cool thing about the Gallery oil pastels, you can actually smear them. So if you want to do that, I'm smearing them a little. Just don't wipe on your clothes afterwards, because I cannot say if these will wipe off. I know with watercolor, it comes off, but in the wash. But with these, I just don't know. An interesting thing to try maybe is like if you have white acrylic or even gouache, you can put it right on top here just to add some of that white cloud look. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add some of that. Let's see. All right. I got this gouache. The gouache, the ones that I have just die on me, like they dry out. So I finally spent some money and got this airtight pan thing, like a paint thing. And people use it for makeup or lipstick, but I have been using it for gouache, and this is 2 weeks now that it's been in here, and they're still pretty luscious. So the gouache is great because it could just go right over top of what you're doing. Though it's acting like a resist right now with the watercolor. Not watercolor, with the oil pastel. Ooh, so it's doing like a weird little texture, which I like. Acrylic will just go right on top of that, but gouache, there's a little bit of resist happening. It's airtight, so you can carry these things wherever you go. I tend to take my art supplies with me. But yeah, so I'm going to stop right there because I want to show you the next part of what we'll do. But before we go on, I want to see how you're doing. All right, so I am going to remove myself as a pin. And all right, let's see. How are you doing? Hold it up. Whoa, Asma, you got far. Christine, gorgeous. And look at those. Is that oil pastel, Anne Claude? It looks so beautiful. Christina, I love that. Pam, whoa, is that oil pastel, Pam Burke? Is it? Oh yeah. Laura, I want to go walk in your field there. Beth, the energy. Fran, so pretty. Oh my gosh, Virginie, I love the blue and then the clouds dancing together. Jackie, that turned out great. Anika, I hope I'm saying your name right. Janice, that looks nice. Let's see. Anika, did I say that right? Anki? I hope I'm saying it right. That looks great. It just gets blurry in a little bit. And Claude, I mean, beautiful, beautiful. Dominique, whoa, Dominique. That is almost like a Van Gogh right there. Catherine, that's just looking amazing. Awesome. Which ones did you like using that you haven't used in a little bit? I know I love my oil pastels, but sometimes I forget about them. So it's good to have right next to you. All right, scooting back into my page. Thank you for sharing. I love seeing everybody's work. All right, so this time I'm going to turn my sketchbook around, or you can get another page if you want. And I'm going to show you what we're doing next. So this is also a cypress tree right here. And look at the clouds, they're dancing. My page is still wet, but it's okay. And so we're going to channel our inner Van Gogh. Now that we've looked at some of his work and how he's done some of the brush work. Janice says, first time I've used my Pentel oil pastel. I hope you like it. They're fun, right? Oh yeah, those are great. These are the thing that I love about I never used pastels. Wow. Okay, Beth, that's awesome. So did you try it? I hope you did. Yeah, the Pentel oil pastels are just wonderful because okay, great. They're messy, but I love them. I use them all the time because I have no patience. And I just like to make fast. All right. So just like we did before, I am going to plot this whole thing out. I'm not going to do everything, but I will do some of it. I'm going to try to do a dark green because I hope you can see that. Ooh, fun to use the buttery sennelier. Sennelier? I can never say that right. But yes, those are really fun. They're super buttery, but I'm always so scared to use them because they're not the cheapest. So I'm always like, I better use this, and if I use it, I better make something that I like. You know what I mean? What's the name of the pastel that's smushed? Janice wants to know. These are called Gallery Oil Pastels. Sennelier. I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm saying it wrong, please correct me. That is the smushy ones. Artist Soft Pastels. 48 in color. All right, so I am just making marks. If you want to use a color pencil, you can. I'm just adding some trees. You're pronouncing it right. Thank you, Dominique. Whew, pronunciation. Sometimes I still don't, I was born in the Philippines and that's where I grew up. So I sometimes still don't know how to pronounce things and have to ask my kids how to say things. They think it's so funny, but I'm like, I can't say it. Help me. But yeah, so I'm just adding trees here. But remember, as you're doing this, we're channeling Van Gogh. I'm adding the tree right here. And my road disappeared. So I'm going to add it down here. And some of that wonderful hay on the side. Wondering if I think it's just Zoom. So if you're having a hard time seeing what I'm doing and it's kind of looking washed out to you, I'll try to mess with the settings, but for next time. But I don't know why it's doing that. Weird. Okay, I'm going to add some of the clouds. My clouds turn gray. Now you do not have to do it in the order that I'm doing it. I just like to plot things down with my watercolor. Okay, so Candy says, my husband gave me a set of Sennelier almost a year ago for my birthday. I have yet to open them. I'm afraid to use them. Oh no, just use them. Just get them out and use them because you can always get more if you need to. And once you use them, they're really amazing. They're great. But you should definitely try them. Just play. You can practice by looking at some Van Gogh paintings and then make the same kind of marks that he did. Right, so I'm adding some of the trees here. I'm following the reference, but I'm not following the reference, I'm kind of making it my own. I almost feel like I should make everything like a different color so it'll show up better, but that's okay. All right, and then there's one dark tree right here that I'll add. So yeah, for homework, we still have time, but I'm just letting you know what the homework is. If you would like to participate in the homework, is to either use this to finish up your painting, or you could look for another tree, maybe out in your garden or when you're out on a walk, to see if there's something that can help you channel the inner Van Gogh and make those marks. I think for the next painting with Joy, which will be next week on Wednesday, we'll probably do some of the flowers. I was tempted. I was like, flowers, landscape, which one? I feel like Van Gogh just really, he just does the subjects that I love. At some point, we'll do some portraits too. So that's going to be fun. I'm adding the dark oil pastel, just move them up and down. Janice, you can smush with a Pentel too. You could just tell a difference between the two when you start to use Pentel versus the gallery oil pastels. But these Pentel ones smush just fine. Us and our very scientific, artistic words, right? Smushing. Smushing and juicy and loose. All right, so I'm just adding that little bit there. Just keeping it, trying to remember those line work that he was doing, like the broken lines. Just, remember that cypress tree or that cypress shrub that was just like going all over the place? Janice says it's not moving well. Okay, yeah, they don't really blend well. You might need a tool to blend with these oil pastels, but I usually just like the chunky marks. That's the word, the chunky marks. I don't mind the chunks. My kids always say, "You think you're so funny, Mom." I just always laugh at my own jokes all the time. What kind of tool? Well, you can use Kleenex, and sometimes they're like, I don't know if I have it here. Everybody keep going. I'm gonna see if I can find that one tool. It's like a blending tool. They look like this. The blending tool. It looks like a little joint that you would... Yeah. It's not to smoke. Don't smoke these. These are just... Yeah. Yes. Yep. But yes, you could just use them. My kids saw these and they're like, "What is that, Mom?" I'm like, "Oh, it is an art tool." Which it is. But anyway, so those little weird marks, just add them right in there. I love the hay. You can even use like the chunky part of your pencil, make it chunky, or you can like add some really fine lines too. Remember how he did some of his lines that were going one way, and then he turns it and does this thing, and then he moves like that, and then he adds a lot of circles, so keep that in mind. Yvonne said, "Don't smoke those," right? I know. Danger zone. All right. Let's see. What else can we add? The clouds. The clouds. So just, you can even look back and see. Yeah, here. How he did some of these marks. And it's interesting to me how when he did this, some of his marks, I don't know if he's trying to say these clouds are darker. So he did another hash mark on top of it. But yeah, I just think that's awesome. So now I'm adding my clouds. Maybe using 2 different blues and adding some grays too. I just want to say thank you too to all of you that had answered the survey to pick a time. I'm really happy that we were able to make this time work and people can come and not have to stay up unless they want to. There's my trees, just adding some more lines. And then I am adding some green. Some of these trees are they don't have leaves, so you don't have to put leaves on them if you don't want to. Have you ever like made something and then you're mark making and then you make a mark and you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. Sometimes I do that and I'm like, oh man, why, Joy, why? But that's okay. That's called a happy accident. Though sometimes it does not make me happy when those accidents happen. But that's just life. Okay, so your homework is to try to either try this one piece again if you want, or you can look outside and get your own inspiration to try the different trees in your neighborhood. I'm just gonna add a little bit more blue right here. The oil pastel is just great. And then you can always, the magic of watercolor, go back and layer on top of what you already have done. But yeah, don't be afraid to make marks that are loose, jagged, chunky, because Van Gogh was not that way. He just went for it. All right, so I'm gonna stop mine right there. We have about 3 minutes. Can you believe it? What? This time goes by so fast. Time flies by when you're having fun. It's true. Like, people say it all the time, but I believe it. Okay, so we have about 3 minutes. Some of you are still working, so if when we leave, turn on some delicious music that you like and then try to create with those music, because I don't know, when I'm making and I'm listening to beats and different things, my hand wants to move with the beat and kind of dance as I'm painting along, you know. And it's also funny to see. I just try to, my goal right now is to embarrass my children, and so every time they see me painting and I'm dancing everywhere, they're like, Mom, come on, what are you doing? But anyway, especially when their friends are over, right? All right, so if you, Jama, I hope I'm saying that right. You're welcome. I'm so happy that we get to do this together. But yeah, feel free to come to this one. Feel free to come to the next one. Come to all the Painting with Joys that you want. I'm just so glad that we get to do this another time in the month, because I miss you all. I miss seeing you all. You know, like there's something about painting with people that's just, it's the community. It feels really, really good. All right, so if you want to hold yours up, that would be awesome. Oh, Dominique. Look at that. Pam. You guys got the road. Look at Jackie. Those trees are reminding me of fall. Gail, beautiful mark making on the top. Christina. Beth. So you guys got farther than me. Susan, I love those pastel mark makings. Catherine. And you should frame that, Anne. For real. And Claude, just rip that, put it on your fridge or something, because it is done. I feel like it's done. Laura, ooh, I love your clouds, Laura. Look at that, so wispy. Amazing. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me see. Candy. Oh, there's yours, Candy. You have 2 of them side by side. You did what I did. I love it. It looks great. Susan, did I see yours? I think I did, right? Susan King. Oh, yeah, I did. Yep. And then Fran. So delicate, Fran. Catherine, yours is kind of blurry and then coming back and then it blurs out. But maybe take yeah, I don't know what it is. Take a picture and put it on the Facebook page so that we can see it. If I don't get to see yours, just put it. Oh, Asma, whoa. Look at yours. That is so colorful. Wow, that's inspiring. I love the blues. I should have done my trees blue. I was thinking about that. All right, well, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I really, really, truly appreciate it, especially with all of the crazy tech. But what can we do? That's how life is. We just keep moving forward. All right, thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your week. I'll see you next week if you want. Bye. I'm hanging up before I just stay here. Okay, thank you, Janice. Look at all those hearts. All right, see you all later. Don't forget to post on Facebook or tag me so I can see it. Thank you, thank you.